Welcome to the deep dive. We're all about knowing your favorite character, and well, you chose Subaru Natsuki from ReZero.
Oh yeah, Subaru's a great
And
one.
we've got a really fascinating mix of wiki entries and articles, all thanks to you guys sending them in.
Yeah.
So we're ready to uncover what makes him tick. Get ready for some aha moments as we break down this seemingly average guy who's just thrown into this world of extraordinary circumstances.
Well, what's so fascinating about Subaru is that he really isn't your typical, overpowered isekai hero.
Right.
He's relatable because he starts as just this pretty average guy. Someone who might spend a little too much time with their anime, manga, and video games.
Yeah, he's that friend we all have, right?
Yeah.
The one who can quote every line from their favorite show.
Exactly.
But then, bam, he gets transported to this fantastical world called Lagunica.
It's wild.
It's like stepping into a classic fantasy RPG, complete with elves, magic, and these mythical creatures.
Yeah, and at first you see Subaru trying to use his knowledge of anime and games to navigate this new world. Oh, totally.
But he quickly realizes that real-life isekai,
Right.
it isn't quite as simple as it seems in fiction.
No, it's not like he can just use cheat codes, right?
No,
He finds out pretty quick he's playing on hardcore mode.
definitely.
This is where his journey gets really interesting.
Yeah.
He's granted this totally unique ability called Return by Death, courtesy of a mysterious entity named Satella.
It's such a fascinating concept,
It is.
right? He essentially gets to just hit the reset button every time he dies,
Wow.
retaining all his memories of what happened.
It's like having infinite save points in a video game.
It is.
So you would think that would make him invincible.
Yeah, you think so.
But there's a really dark side to this power.
Exactly. Comes at a pretty hefty price.
Yeah.
Imagine the emotional and psychological toll of reliving your death
Oh my God.
and the deaths of those around you over and over and over again.
It's brutal.
It's a heavy burden to carry, and he can't even share it with anyone.
The Witch of Envy who gave him this power put a curse on him. If he reveals his secret, bad things happen.
So not only is he constantly dying, but he's also carrying this massive secret,
Yeah.
completely isolated from the people he's trying to protect.
It's rough.
And speaking of protecting, he falls for Amelia,
Oh, Amelia.
this half-elf who is a candidate for ruler in this world.
Oh, great.
She's got this whole tragic backstory and faces a ton of prejudice because she resembles the Witch of Envy.
And this is where Subaru's heroism really shines.
Yeah.
He's completely devoted to protecting Amelia, even if it means putting himself in harm's way.
Which, thanks to Return by Death, he does a lot.
He does.
But his devotion isn't limited to just Amelia. He forms these deep bonds with others in Lagunica, including Rem, a demon maid who offers him this unwavering support and love.
But even with his powers, Subaru can't save everyone.
Right.
Rem's fate is a particularly tragic one.
It is.
And it leaves a lasting impact on him, showing the limits of his ability and the profound emotional toll of his constant resets.
It's this stark reminder that even with the ability to manipulate time, some wounds are just too deep to erase.
They are.
This forces us to confront the question,
Yeah.
what truly defines a hero?
Right.
Is it about winning every battle? Or is it about this unwavering commitment to fighting for what's right, even in the face of overwhelming odds and personal suffering?
I mean,
Subaru's story might just make you rethink what it means to be heroic.
yeah, it really does.
It definitely makes you think.
Mhm.
And speaking of things that make you think, Subaru's powers are even more complex than just Return by Death.
Oh, yeah, way more.
He develops these other abilities, which he calls Invisible Providence
Mm-hmm.
and Corleonis.
Invisible Providence allows him to use this unseen force,
Ooh.
almost like an extra hand to manipulate objects and defend himself.
Mm.
It's subtly shown in the source material, so you might have to rewatch some scenes to really appreciate it. Think of it like a faint shimmer in the air when he's using it.
It's a cool visual when you catch it.
It is.
And then there's Corleonis. This one is all about empathy.
Oh, yeah.
He can literally share the burdens,
Wow.
both physical and emotional, of those around him.
So cool.
It's like a superpower of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
It comes at a cost.
it comes at a cost.
Right.
He experiences the pain and suffering he takes on from others.
This duality is what makes Subaru so compelling.
Yeah.
He possesses these incredible powers, but he's still very much human. He's vulnerable, he makes mistakes, and he's constantly struggling to balance his extraordinary abilities with his very ordinary humanity.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and this constant cycle of death and rebirth,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't just take a mental toll on Subaru.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
also leaves its mark on him physically.
Right.
You'll notice in the source material
Yeah.
how Subaru's initially ordinary appearance becomes more haunted,
Right.
subtly reflecting the weight of his repeated deaths.
It's like his journey is etched onto his face.
Yeah.
And when you think about what he's going through,
Whoa, yeah.
it's no wonder he developed some coping
Yeah.
mechanisms. Some of them, though, are pretty dark.
That's what makes Subaru such a complex and fascinating character.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of trauma.
It's true.
He grapples with anxiety, fear, and this deep-seated insecurity that stems from his past.
It's almost like he brought some baggage with him from his old life in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's all coming to a head in this fantastical world.
Exactly. And Lagunica forces him to confront those issues head-on.
He can't just escape into video games anymore.
No, he can't.
He has to deal with real consequences, real pain, and real loss.
And he has to do it all while trying to keep his powers a secret.
It's a lot for anyone to handle.
It is.
But Subaru somehow manages to keep going.
I know, it's amazing.
He's incredibly resilient.
That resilience is part of what makes him so relatable.
Yeah.
He gets knocked down time and time again, but he always finds a way to get back up. He uses his unique perspective, his knowledge of past timelines to try to make things better, to save people, to protect those he cares about.
But that knowledge also creates some tricky ethical situations.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, how far is too far when you have the power to manipulate fate, even if it's your own?
Right.
He becomes quite the strategist, doesn't he?
He does. He's constantly planning, scheming, trying to figure out how to use his knowledge to achieve the best possible outcome.
But it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Because even with the best intentions, manipulating others can have unforeseen consequences.
Right.
And Subaru definitely learns that the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
He makes mistakes, some of them with heartbreaking results.
But those mistakes are crucial to his development. He
Uh-huh.
learns from them. He grows. He becomes more empathetic and more selfless.
That's right.
You see him wrestling with his conscience, trying to figure out what it really means to be a good person, a true hero.
Yeah,
His journey is full of difficult choices,
it is.
and it forces him to confront some uncomfortable truths about himself.
It's a journey that a lot of us can probably relate to in some way.
Definitely.
We've all made mistakes.
Yeah.
We've all faced tough decisions.
Yeah.
Seeing Subaru go through those struggles makes him feel real.
Oh, yeah.
He's not some flawless, untouchable hero.
Not at all.
He's flawed and vulnerable, and that's what makes him so compelling.
And even amidst all the darkness and despair, Subaru finds moments of joy and connection.
He does.
His relationships with Amelia Rem and others provide him with anchors of hope.
Yeah.
They see the good in him, the potential for greatness, even when he struggles to see it himself.
It's like they give him a reason to keep fighting, to keep believing that things can get better.
Exactly. They remind him that he's not alone,
Yeah.
that there's light even in the darkest of times. And those relationships, those moments of human connection, are essential to his growth and transformation. They help him to become a better, more compassionate person.
And it's not just about other people supporting him. He shows incredible strength and determination in his own right.
Absolutely.
This guy just doesn't give up.
Right. He faces setback after setback, loss after loss, but he never stops fighting. He uses his knowledge of past timelines, his strategic thinking, and his sheer willpower to keep moving forward.
You can't help but admire his tenacity. Even when all hope seems lost, Subaru finds a way to pick himself up and try again.
And that's a really powerful message for anyone who's facing challenges in their own life.
It is.
Subaru's story reminds us that even when things are tough, even when we feel broken and defeated, we have the strength within ourselves to keep going.
He's a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity,
He is.
and that's what makes him such an inspiring character.
Yeah.
He might not be perfect, he might not always make the right choices, but he never gives up on himself or on the people he cares about.
That's so true.
It's pretty amazing to see how much Subaru grows throughout his journey in Lagunica.
Oh, yeah.
He starts as this kind of self-centered guy, but he transforms into a truly selfless hero.
Right.
It makes you wonder what drives him, like what are his core values?
At his heart, Subaru is driven by empathy.
Yeah.
You see it in his determination to protect those he cares about. He's willing to endure incredible pain and suffering to ensure their safety. And it's not just about a few individuals.
No.
His compassion extends to entire communities.
Wow.
He fights for those who can't fight for themselves.
It's almost like his experiences with Return by Death give him a deeper understanding of suffering,
Right.
and make him even more determined to prevent others from experiencing it.
That's a really insightful observation.
Thanks.
He's not motivated by personal gain or glory.
No.
He genuinely wants to make the world a better place, even if it means sacrificing his own well-being.
Wow.
That's a pretty powerful testament to his character.
It is. He goes from being someone who avoids responsibility
Right.
to someone who actively seeks it out.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see how he uses his unique abilities, not for personal gain,
Right.
but for the good of others.
His story really challenges the traditional idea of a hero.
Yeah.
It's not about power or strength, but about compassion and a willingness to sacrifice for the greater good.
And let's not forget his determination.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about his resilience, but this guy is a straight-up fighter.
He is.
He faces constant setbacks and unimaginable horrors, yet he never gives up.
You can really sense that never-give-up spirit in the source material.
Yeah.
He uses his knowledge of past timelines, his strategic thinking, and his sheer willpower to overcome challenges that would break most people.
It's almost like each death, each reset, fuels his determination to find a way forward, to break the cycle of suffering.
Right.
He doesn't just accept his fate.
No.
He fights against it.
And that's ultimately why Subaru Natsuki resonates with so many fans.
Yeah.
He's not a perfect hero, but he's a real one.
He's real.
He's flawed, he stumbles, but he always gets back up and keeps fighting for what he believes in.
He shows us that true strength isn't about being invincible. It's about finding the courage to keep going, even when faced with unimaginable pain and despair.
Subaru's journey in Lagunica is a wild ride.
It is.
A mix of fantasy action and deep emotional exploration. What sticks with you is his transformation. He learns to confront his flaws, embrace his strengths, and fight for what he believes in, even when it seems like all hope is lost.
This deep dive has just scratched the surface of what makes Subaru such a compelling character.
Definitely.
We encourage you to dive back into ReZero and experience the full scope of his journey for yourself.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find some inspiration in his story to face your own challenges with renewed courage and determination.
That's the beauty of deep dives like this.
Yeah.
You never know what insights you'll uncover or how they might impact you. If you enjoyed the episode, like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.